them off the drive.
There's number 11 in white, point guard for Mike White's Florida Gators, Chris Chiozza. They call him Cheese. We've got a cheese, a chicken, and a dodo in this game, Dino.
And that's what Florida wants to do. They want to establish an inside game.
Justin Leon, he's been a revelation for Mike White, entering the starting lineup about 6 games ago, and he's become a mainstay for him.
Well, Rich, this is a kid that committed to Mike White at Louisiana Tech, actually signed the letter. Louisiana Tech let him out of the letter, and Michael White called the athletic department at Louisiana Tech, said, listen, this kid's going to go to Arkansas or Ole Miss. I'd rather him play for me. So here he is in a Gator uniform.
5 on the shot clock. Newman hoists, can't hit. The rebound, Dorian Finney-Smith. That's the man they call Dodo here in Gainesville. Inside, freshman Kavarius Hayes.
And we see Mississippi State doubling the post on the catch.
Leon wide open, passed it up. Leon, wild shot, got fouled. It's going to go on number 32 in maroon, Craig Sword. And when we come back, it'll be Justin Leon at the line, looking to tie this game at 7, 15-20 to go.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Hotels.com, the obvious choice for hotels. And in part by Aleve PM. Aleve PM for a better AM. And Mazda. Driving matters.
From Gainesville, Florida, we welcome you back to Super Tuesday, presented by Hotels.com. And the Mississippi State Bulldogs off to a promising start, still in search of win number 1 in the SEC. In the early going, they lead the Florida Gators 7-5. Courtside inside the O'Connell Center on the campus of the University of Florida, alongside Dino Gaudio, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Coach, a look at the SEC standings as it stands right now, and Mississippi State, the only team that has yet to get a win. And tonight is as good a night as any, because Ben Howland said he's never faced any adversity like this.
Rich, they've been in every game down the stretch. They're just trying to get over the hump. But the team sitting at the top, Texas A&M, is as complete a team as there is in the SEC. Good point guard play. They shoot it well, interior scoring. And when you have talent and experience, that's a great combination. Texas A&M has it. And the other team we're looking at tonight, Florida, they shoot 4 for 12 from the free throw line against Texas A&M. They shoot free throws a little better in a 3-point loss, as we're seeing right there with another miss. They're tied for first in this league.
The left-hander, Leon, a 6'8" JUCO junior out of Conway, Arkansas. Goes 1 for 2 from the line to make it a 1-point game. We mentioned A&M at the top of the heap right now in the SEC standings. Big matchup. They're hosting the LSU Bayou Bengals coming up at 9 Eastern on ESPN tonight. Sword had it taken away by Devin Robinson, who promptly gives it up to I.J. Reddy. Reddy with the left hand.
Well, I.J. Reddy, in the first of their 8 games, Rich, he had double figures in 6 of them. In the last 8 games, he hasn't had double figures once. He needs to score the ball, especially with Gavin Ware on the bench.
There's Kayvon Allen, gives it to Dodo. Allen for 3.
This kid is just a scorer. He can do it off the bounce. We see the setup for the 3-point shot. Like I said, one of the most talented guys, not just in the SEC as a freshman, but in the entire country as well.
Reddy, the pull-up. Too strong. Finney-Smith, the rebound.
What excellent defense by Chiozza on the closeout.
Here's Hayes. They wave off the basket, and Antonio Petty calls traveling on the Gators. Well, coming up Saturday at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN, it's a journey to the tourney matchup with 2 Player of the Year candidates leading their teams. Melo Trimble and the 7th-ranked Terrapins take on Denzel Valentine and number 11, Michigan State.
Michigan State struggling a bit since Denzel has come back.
Weatherspoon, he's smooth.
He really is. We're seeing some really talented freshmen on the floor tonight for both teams. Kayvon Allen, Weatherspoon.
Finney-Smith rushed that shot. Fred Thomas, who's entered the game, pulled down the rebound. Here's Sword. Zappardo, not that time. Another rebound for Finney-Smith.
That's not one of Zappardo's strengths, is putting it on the floor. He should have just shot the open three when he had it.
And to see why these Gators are leading the SEC in rebounding, it's been one and done almost the entire first half for Mississippi State. Allen hits that three, but they wave it off.
I think it's a great call because the defender tried to run right through the screen. The foul happened before he let the shot off. Rich, with this lineup that Mississippi State has, Florida has to go inside.
Inbounds to Leon, they do just that to Egbunu. And he throws it down right on top of number 35, freshman Eric Holman.
Great play by Michael White. They threw it over the top and then sealed Egbunu on the inside.
Now the freshman Holman wants it back against Egbunu. Skip pass, Zappardo. No. And another one and done for the Bulldogs. That's 7 one-and-dones in their first 14 possessions. Oh, Devin Robinson brought the Thunder down. Here's Holman. That's not his specialty, misses his first shot.
But you know what, Rich? They have no post-up players in the game for Mississippi State. That's why they're shooting from the perimeter.
Chiozza, his first points of the game. It's a three-pointer. And that gives Florida a 14-11 lead, 12-12 to go.
And that's a great sign for the Gators because they come in shooting 25% from behind the three-point line in SEC games.
They're 1 for 4 so far tonight. Sword, too strong. Leon grabs the rebound. NBA three. That was a heat check from Chiozza. And we've got a whistle on the floor that stops play with 11:46 to go.
A wonderful out-of-bounds play. Great seal inside for Egbunu. That's where Florida wants to go. And man, if these things are falling, good night for the Florida Gators.
Florida's first lead of the game on Mississippi State, 14-11 with 11:46 to go. As usual, Dino Gaudio gets unprecedented access to the head coaches he covers. Here, he talks with Florida head coach Mike White on the team's impressive strength of schedule.
Well, first of all, they've exposed us in different areas. You know, you find your strengths and weaknesses, and I think playing a really strenuous non-conference schedule for a transitional program like us was a huge positive because it allowed us to go through some of these growing pains and find out more about ourselves and prepare us to play some of the best coaches and some of the best players in America in the Southeastern Conference.
And Dino, you've known Mike White for about 20 years. You actually recruited him when you were the head coach at Army, and he said it was the best home visit he ever had. He really pained himself to turn down the offer. He ended up going to Ole Miss, of course.
Well, that's what you want to make it, a difficult decision. And this young guy, there's some good coaches come into this league, Rich. This is a special young man. And talking about their schedule, the number 3 strength of schedule in the country. Games, Purdue, at Miami, at Michigan State, Florida State. That's why Lunardi right now has them in the tournament field.
And there's a three-pointer from freshman Malik Newman. A very highly touted player coming into Ben Howland's program, the #1 player in the entire state of Mississippi. Leon tried the bounce pass, had it picked off. That's the 6th Gator turnover. They average only 11 a game. Quick fire from Mississippi State off the mark. Loose ball saved by Leon. Here's Brandon Francis Ramirez making his first appearance of the game.
Rich, with Mississippi State's this small, they want to go up and down. They want to play fast and take fast shots. Florida should play fast also, but when they don't have anything, go inside.
Casey Hill's first shot attempt off the mark. Loose ball, And it's going to be going the other way. It'll be Mississippi State basketball. Tied at 14, 10:47 to go.
That first 8 seconds of the shot clock, both teams push the ball. Then if we don't have anything, especially on Florida's side, let's run good half-court offense, establish Egbunu on the interior.
Travis Daniels inbounds to the freshman Newman. That foul on the Gators, by the way, Dino, the first team foul in the game. And Newman, back-to-back buckets. That was a two-pointer to give him 5 for the night. And the Mississippi State Bulldogs are back on top by 2.
And we're seeing Mississippi State's baseline runner offense, 2 screeners on the block, and you see Malik Newman coming off.
Malik Newman started this season battling turf toe, but now he's 100%. You can see he's got tremendous lift on his jump shot, Coach.
And the lift negates the contest.
Here's Robinson underneath.
That's a really good job, Rich, for Egbunu to take on the double team, reverse the ball out, and a well-coached team, because it's the second pass out of the trap that gets you the shot.
Tied again at 16. Here's Weatherspoon, the other freshman. We said at the top of the show, they're led by a pair of freshmen, and we're seeing both of them.
Three freshmen on the floor right now for Mississippi State. One of them, Eric Holman, playing post defense on Egbunu.
Francis Ramirez, wild shot off the mark. The follow by Robinson. Back-to-back buckets from the 6'8" sophomore out of Chesterfield, Virginia, Devin Robinson. And Egbunu erases the shot at the other end. Here's Hill with the throwdown. Dino, the Rowdy Reptiles are at full throat now in the O'Connell Center.
They really are, and I'll tell you what, Casey Hill is a blur in the open court. Fast, getting from end line to end line. And Rich, what explosiveness at the end of this play. Wow.
Casey Hill started his career as a starter for Billy Donovan, who recruited him. He was a McDonald's All-American, Player of the Year out of the state of Florida from Umatilla, played at Montverde, and he's accepted his role as a backup now that Kayvon Allen has come into his own, and he seems to be flourishing.
Rich, he led Florida in minutes last year, 34 minutes a game. This year, only 23 minutes a game. As you alluded to, with the emergence of Chiozza, he's accepted that role, he's embraced it. Boy, he brings another dimension to them with his speed with the bounces we saw, and he's a really good on-ball defender.
Averaging 8 points a game, 3.2 dimes as well. 9:05 to go first half. Mississippi State on the road in search of win number 1 in the SEC.
And Gavin Ware back in the lineup for Mississippi State.
Ware playing with those 2 fouls. We'll keep an eye on that. Weatherspoon goes right up against Egbunu. Check that, that's Kavarius Hayes. Well, next Monday on ESPN, a big Monday top 25 doubleheader starting at 7 in the ACC. It's Duke facing number 15 Miami, followed at 9 when we head to the Big 12. Number 3 Kansas and number 19 Iowa State. And how about the Cyclones upsetting number 1 Oklahoma the other night?
Wow, that league, the Big 12, arguably the best conference in America. And Rich, I've been saying that as many others have for the latter 2-3 years, but how about this? The last 3 years, no Big 12 team has even made it to the Elite 8, let alone the Final Four. This might be that year where we might see 2 teams in the national championship game like we did in '88 with Kansas and Oklahoma.
Mentioned Duke as part of that promo as well, as you see Hill heating up. 1 dunk, 1 jump shot, 4 points for Casey Hill.
Well, that's the challenge for Zapata on the inside, Rich. Can he guard ball screen action?
Newman lost it. Mississippi State turnover. That's number 2 for them. A very athletic Gators team. Counting down to 8 minutes to go in the first half.
And you're seeing Mississippi State switch the ball screen with Finney Smith.
Big mismatch. Finney Smith much taller than I.J. Reddy. On the left side. And a foul, and Ben Howland perplexed. 7:54 to go. Back and forth we go in the SEC. Florida, a 2-point lead at home on the Bulldogs.
And Rich, right now we're looking at baseline runners. So watch Malik Newman with the dribble handoff right here. And then he's going to be becoming a baseline cunter. If we freeze it right there, here's Newman. And we got screen here, and watch Newman come off of these screens for the curl. And one of the reasons he's a good offensive player is the defender chases him, he curls. Wonderful elevation on his shot, which eliminates the contest. Baseline runner offense for Ben Howland and Mississippi State, freeing up one of their, again, freshman guard.
Yeah, Malik Newman, 4 state titles in Mississippi, over 3,100 points in his career. And Ben Howland has said from the jump, he is a one and done. There are scouts at the game tonight who are here specifically to see Malik Newman.
I talked to 3 of them before the game, Rich, and they're all talking about, can Malik Newman develop a consistent level of effort for the next level, the NBA level? That's their question.
Dorian Finney-Smith knocks down 1 of 2 to give Florida a 3-point lead.
And it's baseline runner action again.
Good hands by Hill. Mississippi State's going to have to get into their action quickly. 8 on the shot clock. I.J. Reddy loses it, and Allen comes away with it. Here's a 3. Good. 3 for number 3. Devin Robinson with 7 points.
And I know one thing, Devin Robinson should point to Casey Hill, a wonderful dish, the extra pass to the corner.
That's going to be an offensive foul on Mississippi State as we now have the largest lead of the game for Florida.
Watch the extra pass. Casey Hill, one more to the corner. When you have multiple guards that share the ball like Florida, you're going to get good shots.
And Mike White is smiling, at least on the inside, Dino. His team is 3 for 7 from beyond the arc. That's what won them the Ole Miss game on Saturday, 11 for 20 from distance.
And that's a good trend for them, Rich, because in SEC play, we talked about it, they're only 25% from behind the 3-point stripe.
And they're doubling up Mississippi State on the rebounding edge as well. 10 on the shot clock. Wide open, Allen. And we've got another foul on the floor. That's going to go on Hayes. Well, Saturday at 6:30 Eastern and streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. A journey to the tourney matchup with 2 Player of the Year candidates, Melo Trimble and Denzel Valentine, leading their respective teams, the 7th-ranked Terps and the 11th-ranked Spartans, in Big Ten action. How about Michigan State? If they never see Iowa again, it'll be too soon for Tom Izzo.
Yeah, exactly.
Lost both games to the Hawkeyes this year. Jared Uthoff emerging as maybe a Player of the Year candidate.
No question. Maybe him, Melo Trimble. The way Iowa's playing right now, he should be the Player of the Year in the Big Ten.
There's Ware underneath with 2 fouls, and he got himself fouled. And we talked about Trimble and Denzel Valentine. There they are, putting up numbers, ironically enough, fairly similar, at least points-wise, to the 2 forwards we're talking about in our game tonight, Dorian Finney-Smith and Gavin Ware.
Absolutely. And I think Maryland Rich has more firepower, more horsepower than Michigan State. Man, they just dismantled Ohio State on Saturday.
Free throw shooting an issue for both clubs so far. Mississippi State has only made 3 trips to the line. Gavin Ware missed the first one.
Now, let's see if on the offensive end, Michael White goes inside Florida to try to put that 3rd foul on Gavin Ware.
We asked him for his 3 keys to the game. He gave us 1. Go at Gavin Ware.
Look in, mismatch.
Knocked away by Thomas. An uncharacteristic 7 turnovers for the Gators, and Mike White said, I'd rather throw the ball in the student section to get a dead ball turnover than a live ball turnover.
Well, Rich, 2 of those turnovers came off post feeds because they weren't bounce passes.
I.J. Reddy with the wide open 3. He has 5.
If you're going to feed the post, I'm sorry, Rich, it's a bounce pass is a feeding pass.
Here's Allen. Downtown.
Boy, this kid just exudes confidence. He didn't come in as a 3-point shooter, but man, when he's hitting and feeling good, special player for Florida.
Had 27 points at Ole Miss, shooting 9 for 11 from the field, including 6 for 7 from distance. Chiozza, the weak side rebound. A little too much dribbling from Cheese. Finney Smith, another 3 for Florida. Make it 4 for 9 from beyond the arc for the Gators. Five to shoot. Ready, wide open from the wing, yes.
And a really nice find from Malik Newman. We would say stay on the floor, you accomplish more, but he has the athleticism to hang there and kick it to the corner.
Robinson pulled up, blocked, but they're going to get Weatherspoon for the foul. Well, Florida now shooting 5 for 10 from distance, Dino.
Well, what they're doing well, Rich, when those threes come off dribble penetration, it collapses the defense. There's the first one. Again, the ball in the key. It was on the pick and roll. Wonderful find by Chiozza.
So that pass went Cheese to Dodo. There are T-shirts being made somewhere.
Yeah, in your house, they're printing those. Rich, a big part of your threes is how you're getting them. If it's off the dribble penetration when we took the ball in the lane, like on those 2 possessions, Michael White is really happy with those shots.
And we watched both teams practice, Dino, and both coaches were talking to their clubs about playing defense without fouling. So far, so good for Florida, not so good for Ben Howland's club. Gators going to the line every subsequent foul with over 4 minutes to go in the first half.
And I like what Ben Howland did. He's down just a few, so he goes ahead and puts Gavin Ware on the bench, probably for the rest of the half with 2 fouls.
Robinson and Allen tied for the team lead with 8 points. And it's the largest lead of the game for the Gators, 6. Newman to Sword, blocked, but picked up by the freshman Holman, his first 2 of the night.
Well, when help defenders go over to the ball side, that creates the avenue for that guy coming down the lane.
Ten on the shot clock for the Gators. Hill probing. Leon, lefty, no. Egbunu tried to grab the offensive rebound and got fouled. 3:27 to go. Florida looking to complete the Mississippi 2-step. They beat the Rebels on Saturday, going for the Bulldogs tonight.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And Samuel Adams, for the love of beer.
Super Tuesday presented by Hotels.com. We're in Gainesville, where the Gators on their home floor in the O'Connell Center lead the Mississippi State Bulldogs 33-29. No shortage of Wooden Award watch candidates in the SEC. Of course, we all know about Ben Simmons, and even despite Kentucky's struggles as of late, Dino, Jamal Murray and Tyler Ulis both deserving candidates at this point in the season.
Very much so, and where Kentucky is right now, thank goodness these 2 guys are playing at the level that they're playing. Now, Tyler Ulis isn't shooting the ball well, from behind the three-point line as of late, but he is the heart and soul of that team. If Kentucky had some interior consistency, then they'd be much better off than where they are right now.
We mentioned earlier how Florida is trending upward. You think the LSU Tigers are trending up as well?
I really are. I think with Keith Hornsby and Craig Victor back in the lineup, and now they played a while, there's no question. The thing that showed me a lot was when LSU came here, the emotion and energy that LSU played with that night, and boy, I think they just continue to do that.
Egbunu misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Free throws, an issue for Mike White.
Free throws and turnovers, Rich. Mississippi State, 12 of their points off of Florida turnovers.
Sword, no. Weak side rebound to Casey Hill. Some good basketball following our contest on ESPNU. Undefeated SMU will take the floor against Houston. And over on ESPN, SEC fans can tune in and check out LSU at Texas A&M as Dorian Finney-Smith knocks down another three ball.
He gets that shot because he lifts on the ball screen, and his defender becomes a help defender in the lane and not quick enough to close out to the shot.
Ready? Yes. He's been the best offensive player for the Bulldogs tonight.
Well, Mississippi State running baseline runner again, and Casey Hill shortcut the screen and overran it, Rich. That's what created the angle for the drive.
Casey Hill the pull-up, no. And Malik Newman skies for the rebound. Transition ball for the Bulldogs. Ready again. Got fouled, and he'll go to the line. Let's go back to that three by Dorian Finney-Smith.
Well, Finney-Smith is in the corner, and when the ball screen happens, stepping out, wonderful lift. Like, he sees where his defender is, Rich. As soon as his defender turns his head, that's what makes a good offensive player. Playing the game from the shoulders up as well as with your body.
And you talked about it at the outset, Dino. He is the epitome of a stretch four in this league.
He really is, because he can shoot it and post up as well. What we didn't see early on that clip was Mississippi State going under ball screens on Casey Hill because he's not a good three-point shooter. They're daring him to shoot the three from behind the screen.
I.J. Ready at the ready. He scored 10 of the last 12 Mississippi State points.
Here comes the double team from Mississippi State.
Chiozza, and a rare three-point miss by the Gators. Here's Ready. Continues his hot streak. 14 points for I.J. Ready.
And like I said, Rich, his last 8 games hadn't been in double figures once.
5'11" junior out of Little Rock, Arkansas, has kept the Mississippi State Bulldogs in this game. They trail by 1. Egbunu turned it over. Numbers for the Bulldogs. Here's the lob. Freshman to freshman, they came up empty. Stolen away by Ready. He'll have an easy pass to the basket. And now 16 points for I.J. Ready, and Ben Howland's Bulldogs are back on top by 1.
Well, you know what Michael White's going to be talking to his guys about at halftime? Valuing the basketball. Treat the ball like it's gold.
Finney-Smith inside, and immediately they get the foul on the freshman Holman. An 8-0 run by I.J. Ready all by himself.
I mean, just a careless pass. Maintain your dribble. Take the ball up the floor right there. There's no defense to be played on those plays like that, Rich. It's like a quarterback throwing the ball out in the flat and it's a pick six. Those turnovers, those live ball turnovers kill you like that one did for the Gators. What I liked about Egbunu on the last play where he was fouled, he caught the ball where he could score from. The prior possession, he was 4 or 5 feet off the lane. He can't score the ball from there.
Well, Dino, we have 54 seconds left in this half. Coming up at the ESPNU halftime report with Brendan Fitzgerald and Kyle Macy. We'll talk more about Ben Simmons. He and his Tigers facing the #1 team in the SEC, Texas A&M, later tonight at 9 on ESPN. Also talk about Kentucky and first half highlights and stats. That's coming up on the ESPNU halftime report. Stick with us. Tie ball game, 37 all. 10 to shoot. Ready, splits the defenders. No, offensive rebound, Weatherspoon. Quick hops by the freshman.
Wow, Weatherspoon, Rich, he's a guard playing the 4 position, doing everything that Ben Howland needs him to do. Not just score from the perimeter, but at the rim as well.
Mississippi State, 39, Florida, 37. Shot clock is off, 10 seconds in the half. Hill, no. Zapardo, the rebound. Last shot time for the Bulldogs. Here's Thomas. Nailed it! Count the bucket for Fred Thomas.
Great wherewithal for Thomas. He had his eye on the clock, shot it from where his range is. Big basket going into the halftime. Zapardo calling it out for his buddy.
He called that shot. As we go to half with a 5-point lead for Mississippi State, 42-37 on the road. Coming up after the break, we'll rejoin Brendan Fitzgerald in the studio with the ESPNU halftime report. Welcome back to Super Tuesday, presented by Hotels.com. And this is the SEC on ESPN, live from Gainesville, Florida, in the O'Connell Center on the campus of UF. And the Florida Gators find themselves down 5 to the Mississippi State Bulldogs, 42-37. Bulldogs still in search of their first win in the SEC, but they are 6-0 when they lead at halftime. Alongside Dino Gaudio, I'm Rich Hollenberg. And Dino, they used a 13-1 run at the end of the half to take this 5-point lead. What's jumped out at you as the key reasons why the Bulldogs are playing so well?
Mississippi State with a much smaller lineup, holding their own on the backboard. But the difference in the first half, Rich, has been Florida's turnovers, 9 of which led to 14 Mississippi State points. So it's Florida's offense that's hurting them again. But it's not so much shooting, but turning the basketball over, as we're seeing right there. Kevon Allen with the ill-advised pass. And man, his I.J. Reddy had a superb first half. 16. The last 8 games, he hasn't scored in double figures. He has 16 in the first half in a variety of ways, scoring at the bucket, from behind the three-point line. And with his buddy Gavin Ware playing only 6 first half minutes, I.J. Reddy has really stepped up his game.
They're going to have to slow down this Mississippi State team who has used those turnovers to their advantage, and it's uncharacteristic of Mike White's Florida Gators to turn the ball over this much. 9 turnovers, and they average only 11 a game. In maroon, it's the Bulldogs starting with the ball in the second half. Inside, Ware, no surprise there to start the half for Ben Howland. Ball gets knocked out of bounds 12 seconds into the half, and it'll stay Mississippi State ball.
And a really nice job of digging it out of the post by Chioza.
Here's Craig Sword, only 2 points in the first half. There's the man with the offensive firepower, I.J. Reddy. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Sword, short. Out of bounds, the officials confirm.
I don't like the call. But you know what, Rich? You don't have to rely on the officials. If you go rebound with 2 hands, go get the basketball with 2 hands.
Sword underneath, no, but he got the foul.
Egbunu needs to be a little more like Patrick Young was. He needs to bring sweat and scars and anger to the job. Understand what you need to do, Egbunu, to make your team good. Rebound the ball, score at the rim.
Sorry, Dino. Craig Sword steps to the line, a senior out of Montgomery, Alabama. And Dino, he is the active leading scorer in a career in the SEC. He had 1,290 points coming into tonight's game. That's 3 tonight, so make it 1,293 in his decorated career with the Bulldogs.
There you go. That's a way to grab that rebound and chin it.
I hope my 12-year-old Jason's listening to what you're saying right now. We coach those 12-year-olds to grab the rebound with 2 hands. Dorian Finney-Smith opens the second half scoring for the Gators. He has 9.
I like it, Rich, because he's become too reliant on the three-point shot.
Newman. Yes. 8 points for Malik Newman, his second triple of the night.
Well, when there's a down screen on Malik Newman, you can't go under the screen. You must chase him off of the screen. Make him a curler.
Here's Agunu doubled in the post. And they call it jump ball. It'll be possession arrow, Florida. Let's take a look at that three-pointer that we just saw from Mississippi State.
Well, Malik Newman, good pin down screen by the freshman Weatherspoon. Nice read. You got to stay attached to him and chase him.
And Dorian Finney-Smith has a chance at a conventional three-point play. Dorian Finney-Smith 1 for 2 from the line tonight. A 70% free throw shooter, the senior transfer from Virginia Tech.
Well, what a great call by Michael White. He knew he had the mismatch, put him right under the basket, just lobbed it up over Weatherspoon's hands.
Just like in football, when you have the defense out of sorts and you try to quick snap, that's what they did on that inbounds. And the foul on Newman, was he shooting three? Yes, he was. Cardinal sin on that closeout by the Gators.
When you're closing out the three-point shooters, it's a good call. He hit his arm.
Yeah, and if you remember the last time down, you diagrammed that open three where Kayvon Allen was a little late with the closeout. This time he was a little too
early.
quick.
Well, you know what, Rich? It's good if you're there early. Just don't foul a jump shooter.
Right. Newman, a 70% free throw shooter, knocks down his first of the night. 1 for 2, as Kayvon Allen will go to the line and repent for his sins. And Casey Hill comes in his place to run the point for the Gators. Newman averaging just under 13 points a game in his freshman campaign in Starkville. 2 for 3 from the line gives Mississippi State a 6-point lead. Here's Leon, quick release. 6 points for Justin Leon, cuts the deficit in half. Here's Sword all alone. His shot's been off all night. And it's going to be a foul on Mississippi State. And we'll have to check and see if it's on Gavin Ware. And if it is, that's going to be number 3. They waved off the whistle. It's Florida basketball. Tip ball, picked off. In transition. Again, Quindary Weatherspoon shows what a smooth game he has. Very polished for a freshman.
And Rich, when your point guards aren't playing well, it's hard for you to look good on offense. And Chiozza, ill-advised passes, poor decision, poor delivery.
$10 points for Weatherspoon, 10 points for Newman. The two freshmen combining for 20. Here's another steal by Mississippi State. And Sword tried to zip the bounce pass in between defenders, and it went off the hands of Weatherspoon and out of bounds.
See, Craig Sword, a senior, got to be able to make the pass into the lane. That's been the problem for Mississippi State. Their young guys are playing well. Their veterans have to step up and get them over the hump if they want to win.
Jump stop blocked by Ware. Hill gets it to Agunu in the post. Double teamed, another block by Ware.
He's too far under the basket, Rich, to make the shot.
Let's see if they try and get him involved offensively now. They feed the post. Baseline J. And that's why Gavin Ware is being talked about as a first-team All-SEC player.
Well, he can score with his back to the basket, and he also has the face-up game.
Gavin Ware. Only Ben Simmons has more points per game in the SEC as a true forward in this league. Chiozza, top of the key. too strong. Sword the rebound. In transition to the freshman, Weatherspoon with a dozen. Largest lead of the game for Mississippi State. 54-45, and Mike White wants to talk it over. Gators call timeout, so do we. 15:57 to go. Mississippi State hunting for their first win in the SEC.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation that excites. And KFC's new Nashville Hot Chicken. It's spicy, smoky, and crispy.
$15:57 to go from Gainesville. The Gators trail the Bulldogs 54-45. Coach, take us inside the play.
Rich, when you're running ball screen offense and Florida runs a ton of it, you can't make your mind up as a point guard what you're going to do. So as Chiozza comes off the ball screen, as we could freeze it right there, here's the roll guy right here. Here comes the helper, so the ball belongs in the corner with the pass. So great read by Chiozza, the drift pass to the corner, Leon with the jump shot. Do what the game tells you to do. Don't make your mind up ahead of time.
And that hasn't happened often enough for the Gators. They have 11 turnovers. That's their average per game. We still have 16 minutes left to go in this contest. They've already reached that number, and Mississippi State's taken advantage, 16 points off those turnovers.
They really have, and that's been the biggest difference in the game so far. Florida's turnovers leading to Mississippi State runouts.
15:51 to go. Coming up, since it's my home court week, we'll give you a look at the old home of the O-Dome and give you a look at the future in Gainesville as well. Welcome back to Super Tuesday, presented by Hotels.com. You're watching the SEC on ESPN, where Mississippi State looking to pull off a pretty big upset, 54-45 over the Florida Gators in Gainesville, where they call the O'Connell Center home and have for over 30 years. But starting this year, they're undergoing a $64.5 million facelift to this building. There'll be a new center-hung scoreboard inside the O'Connell Center. They'll have chair-back seating, a new outer concourse, and they're gonna have luxury boxes at courtside with premium seating. Now, the only downside for the Gators is their non-conference schedule next season, Dino, is gonna be like home on the road. They were telling us they'll have to spend most of the non-conference in Jacksonville, in Tampa. I know they're playing in the Advocare Invitational in Orlando on Thanksgiving week, but it's all going to pay dividends not only next season, but down the road for Mike White.
Well, Rich, what you're seeing is that's what Clemson's doing right now. They're playing at an off-campus facility 40 miles from Clemson, South Carolina, and we see how well they're doing.
Yeah. Wins against UVA, Syracuse, and Duke, not too shabby.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good 10 days. Rich, the arms race in facilities just continues. And you knew when Ole Miss got the pavilion, and we haven't been there yet, state-of-the-art. Man, as soon as one of these coaches lose a player to Ole Miss and they say facilities, you can mark it down. They're going to keep building those things.
Mark that one down for Johnny Zappardo. Second bucket of the game. He has 5, and the lead is ballooned to 11 for the Bulldogs. Finney Smith, hammer pass. Hill gives it up to Robinson. Yes! Another triple for Devin Robinson, his second of the night. He has 11.
And I like what Michael White's doing, extending his defense, pressuring right now, 2-2-1, trying to create more offense with his defense.
Here's Thomas. He hit that jumper at the end of the first half, but he missed there. Allen gives it up to Igbunu. The foul on the floor, no shot, and John Igbunu will go to the line.
Rich, one of the things that John Igbunu needs to do, he's posting too low so that when he drop step, he's literally under the basket. They're fortunate that they called a foul on that possession.
3 fouls on Gavin Ware, and he's going to go to the bench for Ben Howland. This is a big moment. Mark it down at 14:40 with the big man going to the bench for Mississippi State. Well, Saturday at 6:30 on ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN app. It's a journey to the tourney matchup with two Player of the Year candidates leading their teams. It's Melo Trimble and number 7 Maryland taking on Denzel Valentine and number 11 Michigan State. Maryland only 2 losses on the season, coming in at 16-2, taking on Nebraska this week before they face Michigan State.
And what a great job Mike White has done on their baseline out of bounds. They've scored twice already. They pick up a foul. We're going to see Finney Smith go to the free throw line. Sometimes those are big difference makers in the game. What you're doing on baseline out of bounds. Rich, Mike White, I'm sorry, one of the great young coaches, not just in the SEC, but in the country. Took Louisiana State to 3 Louisiana Tech regular season championship, 2-time conference coach of the year in his league. A great hire for Florida.
Calls the Sunshine State his home state as well. He's born in Dunedin, Florida. As Dorian Finney-Smith knocks down both of those free throws to give him 14 for the game. And a 12-point lead has been cut to 6. More pressure from the Gators. Weatherspoon. Foul on the floor. Quindary Weatherspoon will go to the line. Kayvon Allen whistled for his 2nd foul of the contest. And Quindary Weatherspoon, they call it on the floor, so no free throws for Weatherspoon. Good hands by Casey Hill, 19 on the shot clock. What do you want to see offensively right now if you're Ben Howland?
Well, you're going to try to create some stuff for your guards, because without Gavin Ware in there, you're wondering if you have an inside game, Rich. But I'll tell you what, the defensive pressure by Florida has really picked up the last 3 or 4 minutes.
And so has the intensity of this rowdy reptile crowd inside the O'Connell Center. 10 to shoot. Weatherspoon, aggressive, and makes it worth it. 14 points for Quindary Weatherspoon, coming off a 23-point effort against Tennessee.
Boy, what a confident freshman he is.
Speaking of confident freshmen, 3rd triple of the night for Kayvon Allen.
You know what? It's a team game played by individuals. You got to try to win your individual matchup. Sit down and guard one-on-one if you're Florida right here.
Quindary Weatherspoon doubled down low. And Holman tried to force the pass in the middle, picked off by the Gators. Heat check. Offensive rebound, Robinson. Hill, left hand, no. Egbunu, another offensive rebound, and 1.
Sometimes, Rich, it's just more about energy and effort, and right now, Florida's bringing that to the floor.
John Egbunu, a 6'11" redshirt sophomore, originally from Nigeria. Spent a year at USF, just about 2 hours down the road, down I-75 South. After Stan Heath got let go from his head coaching duties there, Egbunu decided to come up to Gainesville and try his hand as a Gator. Sat out last year and is paying dividends this year.
Like we said, he needs to be more like Patrick Young was. He's bringing sweat, a little bit of energy and anger to the job.
Transition. Sword held on to it a little too long. Chance to tie or take the lead for the Gators. And a major collision right at the nail. That foul's going to go on 23 and maroon Travis Daniels.
You know why the charge or the block occurred, Rich? Because Egbunu wasn't filling the lane wider. They didn't have good spacing. That way one guy could guard 3. When Egbunu's filling that lane, fill it wide. He should be almost outside the three-point line. And when he gets to the foul line, cut hard to the basket. Bad spacing.
Dino, 12:44 to go in this game, and once again, Florida already in the bonus. They're shooting free throws on every subsequent Bulldogs foul. And Gavin Ware is back on the floor with those 3 fouls, and it's out of necessity that Ben Hallam put him back there because UF went on a 9-2 run with him on the bench.
Well, let's see if they try to establish him again on the interior.
13 for Allen, coming off that 27-point effort at Mississippi. And an 8-0 Gators run has tied this game up. Good hustle by Allen. Out of bounds, Bulldogs basketball.
Now, how many times this year has Mississippi State been in this position? A lot of time left, but struggling to close out games.
What an answer. Mississippi State goes right at the Gator D, and Craig Sword, who has struggled mightily all night, comes through big time.
A wonderful job of breaking the pressure. One of the things that enables you to press, Rich, when you have resistance at the rim, Egbunu has to be that rim protector for Florida in the back of their press.
Craig Sword averaging just under 13 a game. He has 6 tonight. He's averaged double figures in all 3 of his seasons at Mississippi State. Gives his team a 3-point lead, 12:30 to go. Nice entry pass, Egbunu. Shot fake, blocked from Ware. Transition, Weatherspoon, blocked by Dorian Finney-Smith. Check that, that block was from Casey Hill. One of the smallest players on the floor, skying in transition. 12 minutes to go. Chance to tie it with a triple. Florida's 9 for 17 from beyond the arc tonight, but they're content to work it into the paint. Egbunu, jump hook.
When he turns middle, much higher percentage shot than when Egbunu drops baseline.
And they call traveling on Gavin Ware. 11:35 to go. We've got a ball game in Gainesville, Coach.
Wow, we know Florida is known for their defense. Terrific contest and block. And then down the other end, take it to the rim, big fella, the jump hook. Egbunu finishes for the Gators.
We've got a nail biter inside the O'Connell Center in Gainesville on Super Tuesday, brought to you by Hotels.com. Florida trailing Mississippi State by 1, 61-60. And a crisis of confidence is nothing new for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. They've been in this situation before, Dino, and unfortunately, most of the time they come out on the losing end. Take a look at all the close losses just this season by the Bulldogs, 6 of their 9 by 2 possessions or fewer.
And a lot of it, Rich, this is a good free throw shooting team, but they struggled down the stretch making free throws. And like I said before, talented freshmen for this team. Weatherspoon, Malik Newman, but those seniors have to step up and get this team over the hump, especially if they want to win on the road like they are in the O'Connell Center.
Allen, no. Rebound, but a traveling violation called on Craig Sword. It'll stay Florida basketball.
And a bench warning to Ben Hallam. Ben Hallam wanted the over-the-back call.
And granted, Ben Hallam's in his first season at Starkville, but last season, Dino, very similar circumstances for the Bulldogs. 9 of their 19 losses were by 6 points or fewer as well. Finney-Smith. Off the out of bounds again.
They've scored at least 8 points in what is a close game off baseline out of bounds plays.
Dorian Finney-Smith has a season high 23. He's got 16 tonight. 1 point Gators lead. Newman, high riser. No. Finney-Smith clears in traffic and gets fouled and will go to the line.
In the first half, Mississippi State was holding their own on the backboard. Advantage second half for Florida, and it's turned the tide of the game, Rich.
Dorian Finney-Smith at the line, shooting 1 and 1.
At the line, Dorian Finney-Smith. This is 4 and 1. Also, Mississippi State.
And you talked about leadership in that Mississippi State situation with all those close losses. One thing that I witnessed watching Florida practice is what a terrific leader Dorian Finney-Smith is. He was talking so much to his teammates on the floor. They are charged by Mike White to call out the names of the people they're passing to. And when Dorian Finney-Smith doesn't hear one of the youngsters not calling out the names, he starts barking at them. What's his name? What's his name?
Well, Mike White, one of the reasons you do that is teaching your guys to communicate and talk to one another. Voices, especially on defense. If you want to be good defensively, Rich, you hear good defensive teams because they're talking and they're helping one another.
18 points for Dodo, 11 in the second half. Florida looking for their 6th straight win against the Bulldogs. Sword, top of the key. No, another rebound for Finney-Smith. 7 boards to go along with those 18 points. And a traveling violation called on Casey Hill.
I don't think. If you're not going to call the contact, then don't call the walk.
That's 14 UF turnovers. Here's Sword. No lacking in confidence from the senior Sword, but again, a frustrating night offensively.
In the first half, Rich, it was up-tempo, open court, more of a half-court grind-out game in the second half.
Leon knew the shot was short, and he went and chased it down himself. Great hustle from Justin Leon. Out of bounds, and it'll stay Florida basketball. That's exactly why Mike White loves having them on the floor.
You know what? Sometimes you separate yourself with all the intangibles. Getting on the floor, loose balls, offensive rebounds. Justin Leon does that.
Coming up on 9.5 to go. Gators nursing a 3-point lead. Blocked at the rim by Sword, and somehow Dorian Finney-Smith gets it to go. A 16-3 Gators run.
Mississippi State switched the screen. Florida recognized it, went right inside to the big fella.
Timeout called by Ben Howland. His team trails by 5.
They switched. Great find by the point guard. And man, I loved how Dorian Finney-Smith stayed with it and converted a second time.
He's now 1 rebound shy of his 3rd straight double-double in SEC play. Coming up on Monday, it's Big Monday and a top 25 doubleheader starting at 7 in the ACC. Duke and Miami followed at 9 when we head to the Big 12 for Kansas and Iowa State. You talk about history and being on the bad side of it, Coach. Duke has now lost 3 straight as a ranked team for the first time since the late 1960s. Unheard of in the Mike Krzyzewski era.
Shocking in Cameron Indoor. But I'll tell you what, Rich, I said this beginning of the year. I think the 2nd best team in the ACC is Miami. Now, I know they lost at Clemson, but they have good guard play, veteran, size on the interior. I think that's an NCAA tournament team that could make a deep run in the tournament.
Got to watch them win the Puerto Rico Tip-Off Classic. Same tournament that these Mississippi State Bulldogs were in. 5 on the shot clock. Here's Reddy. He was the star of the first half. He's been silent in the second half. It's 16 points for him in the first, 0 in the second.
It's become a 5-on-5 game, and Florida's defense is dictating it all.
Mississippi State led by as many as 11. They find themselves down by 5 with 8:40 to go. Inside again. Egbunu missed the dunk, but got fouled. And that foul's gonna go on Gavin Ware, his 4th.
When you run the high-low, it's imperative you have a guy at the top like Finney Smith that can make the pass. A lot of big guys, Rich, don't have the wherewithal to make that pass. Terrific delivery from Finney Smith.
8:36 to go. Ware 4 fouls. Do you keep him on the floor if you're Ben Howland?
Well, I know this, Rich. If he's on the floor, let's go to him. He has 3 shot attempts in the game. If he's in there, you might as well go to him.
Egbunu in double digits with 10.
Looks like Ben's going to take him out.
And Johnny Zimbardo will check in for Gavin Ware. The question is, for how long?
Well, if this thing goes to 10, then I'm going to get him back in. But he's been in the game, and they've forgotten about him.
And we have a lane violation, so Egbunu will get a bonus free throw. It's been that kind of night from the free throw line for the Florida Gators.
Well, it's a combination of a lot of things. When you go on a losing streak, that's just one of them right there.
15 in maroon, I.J. Reddy had 16 points in the first half, has yet to score in the second half. They're going to need his offense now. Ten to shoot. Weatherspoon, no. Lee on the rebound.
Dorian Finney-Smith's size bothering Q Weatherspoon right now.
Egbunu to Leon, big to big.
What a great find off the double team. Egbunu showing me growth when he can make that pass out of the double.
Ten on the shot clock. Newman silences the crowd.
Boy, what a confident freshman he is. Sometimes he shoots them out, sometimes he shoots them back in.
Acrobatic bucket by Kayvon Allen.
And when you like about him, he can finish at the rim with either hand.
Thomas for 3, short. Finney Smith has himself a double-double tonight. 20 points, 10 boards for the senior leader from Florida. Egbunu, no. Kept alive. Bulldogs in transition. And I.J. Reddy got fouled from behind by Hill, and I.J. Reddy will go to the line when we come back.
Well, when you get double team, you got to play with poise. Splits the double, nice find, and I love the bounce pass with the finish.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Hotels.com, the obvious choice for hotels. And in part by Mazda, driving matters. And Angry Orchard Hard Cider. Explore the orchard.
Welcome back to Super Tuesday, presented by Hotels.com, the SEC on ESPN. Florida has come back from being down 11 on their home floor. They have a 71-63 lead over Mississippi State. Dino Gaudio, Rich Hollenberg, and we talked about him at the top of this telecast, Dino. Dorian Finney-Smith for Florida, their senior leader for this club, is the epitome of a stretch four, and he's shown a little of everything tonight.
He really has, Rich. He scored from behind the three-point line. He's scoring at the rim. There's the 3 coming off a pin-down screen on the right side. I love this right here. Don't forget who you are. Take the ball to the basket, play like you're 6'8", which he has. And because of the size differential, he can elevate and shoot right over Q Weatherspoon. And if you don't succeed the first time, give that second effort, go right back up. Like you said, Rich, double-double, 20 and 10. And at the top of the show, you remember, we talked Finney-Smith, we talked Gavin Ware. Albeit Gavin Ware has been in foul trouble, but night and day difference between who's winning that individual matchup tonight.
Gavin Ware limited to just 5 points tonight. And I.J. Reddy has his first point of the second half, give him 17 for the contest. Again, this is nothing new for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. 6 of their 9 losses have come by 6 points or fewer.
But you know what, Rich? They're in every game.
Yeah, even that Arkansas game.
Ben Howland has these guys playing hard, playing with a lot of emotion and energy. They're just shorthanded right now.
They lost 82-68 to Arkansas, but if you watch that game, they were within 3 with about 4 minutes to go. Kayvon Allen, 17.
And we continue to see his offensive repertoire. Threes, drives, and now the floater.
Came in averaging 14 points a game in SEC play. Kayvon Allen has 17 tonight. Ready. Short. Another rebound for Dodo. And time called on the floor. It's going to be a foul called by Doug Sermons, and it's a Mississippi State foul as Gavin Ware gets set to check back in with 6:05 remaining and those 4 fouls.
Well, you can't worry about the 4 fouls right now. If you're back in the game, we're going to go to you, big fella, and you need to deliver for us on the inside.
Devarius Hayes on the line, looking for his first point of the night, the 6'9" freshman out of Live Oak, Florida.
Rich, when Florida's been able to get back, not turn it over on offense, and establish their defense, we're seeing how good that's why this team is the best defensive team in the league right now.
And they better hope it doesn't come down to free throws, because they do not shoot from the free throw line very well, but they do have good rebounders like Dorian Finney-Smith.
Gavin Ware's box out on the free throw right there.
Finney-Smith too strong. Rebound by Ware.
Plenty of time. You don't have to rush shots if you're Mississippi State.
Weatherspoon, short. Hayes went down hard, and if that foul is on Gavin Ware, that's it for him. So both of Ben Howland's big men are down and out. Zapardo fouled out a moment ago, and now Gavin Ware.
Well, look at him, Rich. He's wide open. The ball should have went inside. And then you have to be smarter than that. Senior with 4 fouls. Weatherspoon's a talented freshman, but the ball on that possession should have went inside to this big fella right there.
Devarius Hayes back at the free throw line. And he's 0 for 3. Interesting about Hayes, comes from nearby Live Oak, so he's always been a Gator fan. Where's number 13? Because Joakim Noah wore 13, Mike Miller wore 13. It's a lucky number here in Gainesville.
Looks like Joakim Noah's done for the season.
4 to 6
Bulls,
months with that shoulder injury.
And being a free agent, has he played his last game for the Bulls?
And the crowd does not like that call. The foul on Hayes as he hustled back on defense. Thought he got all ball on Craig Sword. Instead, they're going to send Sword to the line.
I don't know, Rich. I think it was a charge.
Yeah.
Obviously, outside the restricted area, Art.
And Sword can't make it count. Egbunu checks back in for Hayes. Four starters on the floor for Mike White's Gators, trying to close this one out. They're up 7 after that Sword free throw.
And we're talking about a Florida team that we mentioned earlier against Texas A&M, undefeated in the league, goes 4 for 12 from behind the free throw line. Well, this team might be tied for first place at top of the SEC.
3-on-1 for the Bulldogs. Sword at the other end. That's 9 points for Craig Sword. Not out of it yet. Mississippi State winless in the SEC, 0-4, led by as many as 11 in the second half. They're down by 5. Allen. They were daring him to shoot that one. And that's going to be over the back on Egbunu.
A good offensive possession for Florida, though. They found Kavarius Allen, who's probably the latter 4 games the best shooter on the Florida Gator team from behind the line. And Rich, when you can have a guy like Finney Smith create offense for you like that, Finney Smith at 6'8", coming off the ball screen for the kick out to Allen.
Eric Holman, a 6'10" freshman out of Owensboro, Kentucky, at the line. Missed the first part of this season, basically all of non-conference play, with a knee injury. Misses the front end of the 1-and-1. 4:40 to go. Gators with the ball in a 73-68 lead. There's Finney Smith working on the smaller Weatherspoon. Robinson, quick shot in the paint, no good. Bounce pass, nice cut by Sword. And they count the bucket. Great offensive execution that time from the Bulldogs.
Well, he cut back door because as soon as the Florida Gator lost vision of his guy, watch this, Rich. No vision, wonderful cut by the offensive player. And I like what Mississippi State did. Let your offense create shots for you and baskets. Don't try to create one-on-one.
Here's Hill, left hand, no. Ready, blocked from behind. Sword, again! And Sword's going on his own personal run to bring Mississippi State back in this. Last 7 Mississippi State points scored by their senior, Craig Sword. A 1-point game, 3.5 to go. And a timeout called by the Gators.
Well, this is what you want your senior to do, especially on the road, down 1. Be aggressive, finish at the rim, and Craig Sword does.
Brandon Fitzgerald back in studio. Coming up next, it's SMU and Houston, the Mustangs, the only undefeated team left in college basketball. Nick Moore leads them in scoring, leads the conference in assists per game. Back to Gainesville.
Thank you, Fitz. We got a good one here in Gainesville. Florida Gators up 73-72 on the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Coach, you know both of these head coaches very well. First, let's start with Florida. They have the ball coming out of this timeout. What do you think Mike White is drawing up for his Gators?
Well, I love the timeout. This is a great timeout. We have the ball, a 1-point lead. I think whatever Michael does coming out of the timeout, I think you got to go through Dorian Finney-Smith. He's the guy. He's been special tonight. He could create for himself, or as we saw earlier, create for others. And I think if you're Ben Howland, boy, you put on your Dr. Phil hat. Fellas, I believe in you. We're going to get this done right here. The most important words that a coach could ever tell a player or a team, 4 words, I believe in you. That's what he's got to be telling his guys right now if you're Ben Howland.
Trying to avoid their 7th loss by 6 points or fewer are the Mississippi State Bulldogs, looking for their first win in the SEC. And what a huge one it would be on the road in Gainesville.
Trying to post up Finney Smith.
There he is. Big follow by Egbunu.
When Finney Smith creates off the bounce and gets to the baseline, it draws the help, which enables Egbunu to get to the offensive board.
Nice take, and once again, Craig Sword continues his torrid pace in the late stages of the game.
He's doing everything off the dribble, Rich, so if anything, keep him in front of you. The biggest challenge in our game today is guarding the ball one-on-one, especially with the rules, but get off of him and make him shoot jump shots.
And that was an offensive foul called on the Gators.
I like Michael White coming out of the timeout, going to Finney Smith, but when he draws the help, Egbunu aggressive, and that's just poor ball screen defense.
And here we go with the Bulldogs with the ball and a chance to take the lead with the bucket. 2.5 to go. Jump shot no good, one and done for the Bulldogs. Justin Lee on the rebound. Coming up on 2 minutes to go. Allen had it blocked. Here comes Reddy. And Mississippi State is in front with under 2 minutes to go. 75-76, Bulldogs up one.
Go back to putting the ball in Finney Smith's hands. Every time they've done that, he's made great decisions.
I.J. Reddy has 20. Leon. No. And Reddy, the smallest player on the floor, comes away with the board.
You know what, Rich? I'm not sure if Michael White wants that shot right there by Leon.
An 11-4 run for Mississippi State in the last 5 minutes. Holman. No. Don't think that's what Ben Howland wanted from his offense.
No, but you see what he's doing. He's putting Egbunu in ball screen situations.
Here's Egbunu, blocked from behind, and the foul is called.
But Rich, he's putting Egbunu in ball screen situations, but the kick out is not what he wants. He doesn't want the three-point shot. He wants the guard getting to the rim or the big guy rolling to the basket.
And foul trouble is definitely a concern with 1 minute left for Mississippi State. That foul on Eric Holman, and he is fouled out as well. So all three big men for Ben Howland have fouled out. Gavin Ware, Johnny Zappardo, and now Eric Holman. But that's the least of Ben Howland's concerns, because the close losses that his team has suffered this year have led to a crisis of confidence in his team, and he's just looking for any way to get a W. What do they have to do right now to pull out a win?
Yeah, Rich, it's a little bit of the psychology game. You know what I mean? Like, he's telling his guys, what you guys are thinking right now is really important. We got to believe we could come out of here with the win. Now, Craig Sword, the senior, has been special in the second half. Put the ball in his hands, and I'm going to live and die with what Craig Sword does. There's no post guys to throw the ball to on the interior anymore, but we're seeing all the close losses that they've had. Can they, in a minute, get over the hump here?
They had a chance to beat Kentucky at Rupp Arena. They had Texas A&M dead to rights in the SEC opener. They lost that game by 1. Lost a couple of unfortunate games in the early part of the season before they were completely healthy. Malik Newman was out for a bunch of those games. But now they are back, and they are showing that despite nothing to show for it in the win column, they can contend in the SEC.
This is a dangerous team, and Calipari said it. They had Kentucky 74-71 with just over 2 minutes to play. This is a dangerous team because they're always there at the end.
Coming up next in the SEC, LSU takes on Texas A&M. That'll be a fun one over on ESPN. And Alabama and Auburn, the Iron Bowl of basketball. And we were there last year at Auburn when Alabama, in what turned out to be Anthony Grant's final game against the Auburn Tigers, as Alabama head coach pulled off that win.
Boy, that game's huge for recruiting in that state.
John Egbunu steps to the line. He has 12 points, but just 4 for 8 from the free throw line tonight. Make it 5 for 9. That was a big one.
41%, 9 for 22 in SEC play.
And as a team, UF 15 for 26 from the line.
Now, Rich, Ben Howland could go 2 for 1 if he wanted to. Take the shot with 45 or 40 on the game clock, you are sure to getting it back. But as a coach, you want to make sure you're not taking 2 bad ones, you want a good one.
9 ties, 8 lead changes, 1 minute to go.
Now look for Mississippi State to again put John Egbunu in ball screen action.
Terrific atmosphere from the O'Connell Center in Gainesville, Florida. Rich Hollenberg, Dino Gaudio, 1 minute left between the Gators and the Bulldogs. Sword hangs and hits again. 17 for the senior.
I love it. That's who has to have the ball if you're Mississippi State.
And we've got another Bulldogs foul that'll send the Gators to the free throw line.
Boy, terrific quickness and athleticism. And finishes through contact as well. You know what, Rich? That might have been another foul on Egbunu.
John Egbunu spent an inordinate amount of time at the free throw line tonight. Mostly due to the fact that that was their main offensive goal, is to get the ball inside and attack Gavin Ware. They got him fouled out. Egbunu continuing at the line.
Well, Michael White has a decision to make. How's he going to guard him coming off of ball screens if Craig Scored is in a ball screen action with Egbunu?
He's made his last 4. Gators up 1. Ten-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Daniel short. And the foul by Sword. 18.7 to go. And it's a free throw shooting game right now. And to be quite honest, Coach, I don't know exactly who that favors, because the Gators are last in the conference in free throw shooting, but when you look at Mississippi State's numbers, they're tops in the conference, except when it comes to 3 minutes or less in the game.
Well, at least this guy right here has made 1 free throw tonight, because coming in, Rich, Leon in SEC play, 0 for 5.
Make that 0 for 6 now.
Well, he had one earlier. That's my fault. He had one earlier, so 1 for 5.
And he goes 0 for 2. 15 seconds left. Last shot time for Ben Howland's Bulldogs.
Denny Smith on Sword.
Ready. No. Loose ball. Allen comes away with it. 1.3 seconds left, and he got fouled. Well, it's not over yet.
Boy, tough shot with a help defender coming from your left side. I think Ben Howland wanted the ball to be in Sword's hands. He's the guy that's delivered for them the entire second half.
And Kayvon Allen, the best man for the Gators to have on the line, an 85% free throw shooter. He knocked down that one. 3 for 3 from the stripe tonight as Mississippi State calls their final timeout.
So, Rich, we got 1 more free throw for Florida. Now, I was a big believer if you were up 3 to foul, but there's no way you can foul now. You know why? With 1.3, as soon as the ball's inbounded, the guy's going to go into his shot for Mississippi State. So, if you're Michael White right now, you're telling your guys, we're switching screens. Ben Howland, obviously, no timeouts right now. So, he's talking to his guys about whether ball goes through the net. This is what we're running right now, fellas.
If Mississippi State drops this game, it'll be the first time they are 0-5 in SEC play since 1985-86. They have come tantalizingly close to a W, but have nothing to show for it as of yet. Allen, the freshman, ice in his veins. A reminder coming up next. We'll take it to the American Conference. Houston and number 8 SMU. The Ponies still undefeated on the season under head coach Larry Brown.
Now, interesting. I was a big believer in calling timeouts so that you could set your defense. Ironically, I was at a clinic that Billy Donovan had in Florida. Must have been 4 years ago, Rich. 3 NBA coaches there. Brad Stevens was there. Billy was there. And all of us said, do you call timeout so you could set your defense up, or do you just let the guys play? And unanimous. Everybody said, call timeout so we know what we're doing. Now, remember, at Arkansas a couple weeks ago, Mike Anderson calls timeout. when Kevin Stallings has none and they get to run a great play, sends the game in overtime. Same thing here, Ben Howland, no timeouts when Michael called his.
That's the risk you run, and so Ben Howland had that time to dial up a play. What is that play in your mind?
Well, you got to throw it down this end right here, obviously. And I like what they're doing by putting Finney Smith on the basketball right now. Pressure the passer.
Here's the home run pass. It goes over the outstretched arm of Craig Sword and out of bounds, and that'll do it. Another heartbreaking loss for Mississippi State. Make it 7 of their 10 losses by 6 points or fewer. They drop to 0-5 in conference play, and Florida improves to 4-2 in the SEC, their first 2-game win streak in conference. So that'll do it from Gainesville. Our final score, 81-78 in favor of the Florida Gators. Super Tuesday presented by Hotels.com. Part of My Home Court continues. We go back to Brendan Fitzgerald in the studio.